Alright, what is up guys? JaretCampisi. Welcome back to the channel. Today is an exciting day because this is one all of you guys have been asking for. On my last video, people said you gotta try the Hypermotard from Ducati. Ducati USA actually saw all of the comments from people and they said, hey, we'll send out a Hypermotard for you guys to try out. Well, mainly for me, teens trying the monster. But this is a 2020 Hypermotard 950 SP with all the bells and whistles. I've never ridden a bike like this, so we're gonna walk around it a little bit, show you guys what it is. I'm gonna take it out for a rip and see how she is, so sit back, relax. All right, so the beautiful Christina K is gonna be helping us out today, just kind of hanging out on the bike so you can get some sort of perspective. Yeah, 2020 Hypermotard 950 SP. So again, this is the top of the range for the Hyper. And the first thing that I think needs to be answered is what exactly is this bike? So it's basically like a dirt bike for the road. That's why they call it a Hypermotard instead of a Supermoto. So yeah, it's very high. That's the first thing you need to understand. The seat is super high. So the bike isn't necessarily built to compete against anything. Like, it's kind of just a bike built to do hooligan stuff. That's basically what it's for. It does have a twin motor, making about 115 horsepower and about 75 foot-pounds of torque. Super light. It had this one, since it's the SP model, has the Marchesini forged aluminum lightweight wheels. It actually has the Öhlins front and rear suspension. You can see that it's mechanically adjustable. It's not electronically adjustable. And actually last year they overhauled the entire model lineup. So now you get all kinds of different rider aids, which again, you might not necessarily want on this bike, but I think you can turn most of them off. So you can see this one has a quick shifter up and down, which is kind of crazy. It has traction control, ABS, wheelie control, and then a bunch of different rider modes. So if you hold this button down here, you can actually go through sport, touring, and urban, which will change the power delivery, the different settings, and all that kind of stuff. So pretty freaking cool. It also has daytime running lights that are full LED. I'll tell you what, this is out of my comfort zone. I don't ride these types of bikes. I think the last time I was on a bike even close to this was probably when I was 12 years old riding mini bikes. So, but yeah, you can see the riding position there from Christina. It's an upright, aggressive, wide handlebars riding position. You can stand up on this thing. The suspension has a lot of travel. So that's kind of the whole point of this. That's why there's so much room. Yes, so the bike does get hot. I actually do really like how all the pipes wrap around it and stuff like that. I think it looks super, super cool. If you put a full titanium system on this thing, it would look so freaking badass. They do have aftermarket parts for it. I believe some of these carbon parts, I'm not sure if it comes standard with these, but if they do, that's really, really nice. It's the dry carbon or matte carbon, which you guys know I absolutely love. I love that they blacked out the radiator too. I think that looks really, really nice. And the oil cooler there. This one does have the M50 Brembo monoblock calipers, which I rode briefly on the way down here. The thing is, it's a hooligan bike, so it's going to be very interesting to see. I think I understand why people like this bike so much. Do you want to fire it up, teens, and give us some revs? See what this twin sounds like? Oh, price range, the base model starts at around 13,000. This one comes in just under 17, so it is a bit more expensive than some other bikes that are in this category, but it's completely decked out. You got to pull it down.
Oh. I didn't realize you weren't done talking.
He's just gonna cut me off like Jay Leno did. All right, go ahead. So, pretty chill sound because it is a stock exhaust. I will mention the pipes do get hot, so Christina, be very careful. Yeah, so be really careful. You want to give us a couple revs there? Damn! Thing's aggressive, right? Yeah, that thing is aggressive. So yeah,
it does sound good.
There you go, a little walk around and overview of the 2020 Ducati Hypermotard 950 SP. That is quite a mouthful. Now I'm gonna hop on this bad boy and try not to kill myself.
Have fun.
All right, here we go, folks. First ride, Ducati Hypermotard 950 SP. God, this thing is freaking high. I'm 5'10" and I'm tippy-toeing this bitch. So if you're a short rider, it's gonna be tough for you. Man, I love the Ducati twins, man. All right, let's get out of here. First thing is the seat is, this whole riding position is completely foreign to me. The seat is just flat and long. I'm gonna try to get next to Teen so I can get some riding footage for you guys so you can see what I look like on the bike. But yeah, it's super high, so like coming to a stop, like it's really easy to drop this bike, especially if you were on like a hill or something. Quick shifter is really nice. Brakes, wow, really good brakes. See, I'm not used to that, like, see how sloshy that is? Like the suspension, I'm so not used to that. There's the Teener wieners. The other thing that's weird too is like, the foot pegs are like very easy to just slam into your legs with where they're located. I'm not used to that either. Okay, there we go. Let's get some footage for you guys so you can see what I look like on the bike. It's so weird, the suspension is like so sloshy. But yeah, I mean, you can stand up on this thing. It's so freaking light and flickable, it's crazy. Yeah, this is very odd for me. I'm not used to this at all. It just wants to wheelie. I have the wheelie control on because I'm not about that life. I only do that kind of stuff when it happens by accident. But yeah, so what does this bike like to do? Where does it like to live? I would say it's just, it's one of the bikes that Ducati built that's really just for having fun. It doesn't necessarily have like a purpose, I don't think. It's literally built for just having fun. You can do some like, you know, urban cruising around stuff like I'm doing right now. Very smooth, very easy to ride. Surprisingly, like the on-off throttle. I'm in sport mode too, which is the most aggressive riding mode. And it handles it very well. I am actually more comfortable than I thought I would be. The seat does not have a lot of padding, but it's not really for longer, you know, trips, things like that. But yeah, it's just for short blasts, having fun with your friends, canyon roads. You could take it to a track if you wanted to rip on it, that kind of stuff. So, and off-roading too. You can do some light off-roading like gravel roads. I don't think you'd want to do like intense off-roading stuff, but you can throw like knobby tires on it and stuff like that. So again, all things that I do not do. I'm just not good at it, and it makes me very uncomfortable. When I took the multi-Strada 950 off-roading, oh man, the really light off-roading stuff was fun, but as soon as it started to get a little bit steep and a little bit intense, I was like, okay, I want to go home. So you got to know what type of rider you are and what type of stuff that you enjoy doing, and I certainly know where I fit in. So I mean, when it comes to hooligan stuff, stoppies, wheelies, sliding the rear end out, all that, I don't do that kind of stuff. So that's why I've always felt like there's no point of me having a bike like this, because I just don't do that kind of stuff, you know. Let's see if we can do some lane splitting here. Oh, it's the best. I'm in Santa Barbara, California, and you'd never know we were in the middle of a pandemic because nobody seems to care at all. Everything's outdoors here, which is nice. People are still wearing masks and things, but anyway, I showed you guys a little bit of the dash there. Pretty small dash, 4.3 TFT full color display. Very, very nice. This does have a Bosch IMU system, so it does know where you are leaning in space and all that kind of stuff, which all ties into the traction control, the wheelie control, quick shifter, shit like that. It has a surprising amount of electronics, and on a bike like this, usually it's supposed to be like a raw kind of bike, a raw kind of feel to it, but yeah, dude, this thing has one of the natures of a twin motorcycles, which is what makes Ducati so fun, is they just have so much punch immediately. I mean, it only revs to 11,000, and I think that they said you're getting like 80% of your torque at 5,000 RPMs. So I mean, you're almost at 5,000 RPMs like immediately on this bike, but at the same time, very easy to ride. And I think that's the electronics that are making it easy. There's a copper, gotta be careful. Oh shit. Right after I say that, man, it's crazy how high up I am on this bike. And like, it is nice because if you're on bumpy roads, man, it just soaks up everything. The Öhlins is so nice. It's set up to be like take ramps and go off jumps and shit, so it handles everything really well. It's kind of nice on like bumpier roads or roads that aren't really paved that well and stuff like that. The other thing that's really cool is these handlebars are really wide and high, so it's a comfortable riding position, and you can really you have a lot of control over the bike. Even at like low speeds here, you can just kind of like, look at that, just rip. The torque, man, So good. Ah, come on. Mirrors are on here, and actually they work all right. You have to kind of move around a little bit to see out of them, but they have a lot of adjustability. Again, I don't really think you're buying this bike for mirrors. I don't even really use mirrors that much on bikes. So, you know, for the type of riding you're doing on this bike, I don't think mirrors are really like a make or break. The controls are actually really nice. Ducati did update a lot of their controls across their model range. So they also sent over a Monster 821, and it does have similar controls. The buttons are nice and big. They're easy to use. You got your high beam lights, turn signals, I believe. Is that what this is? No? Oh, there's turn signals. Okay. I mean, look how big that is. Easy to use. You got a horn button, which I was hitting on the way down. I don't know why, but it's just very easy to hit. Not that big of a deal. But yeah, dude, it's just a really nice bike. It feels very premium. And again, coming in around just under 17 grand, it better feel premium. But that's what Ducati's always been really good at. Making bikes that feel premium. Everything that you touch and use and look at just feels really, really good. Yeah, I'm surprised how easy this thing is to ride, man. But you could get yourself into a lot of trouble with this bike. Oh my god. Everybody tells me to wheelie when they see this. Sorry, I don't do wheelies. Only by accident. Another thing to note is the handlebars, or the grips, are actually a little bit fatter than the super bikes are. So that's takes a little bit of getting used to. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I would imagine that's for maybe like holding on, soaking up bumps a little bit better and stuff like that. I actually really like this dash. Really big mile per hour there. You've got your gear indicator. The tachometer looks really cool. It's like a baby Panigale dash from the V4, lifted off the V4. So it looks really nice. Quick shifter is super easy to use. Quick shift here, second to third, third to fourth. I mean, very, very easy to use. Downshift. This bike actually sounds really good with the stock exhaust. I'm not sure how well you guys can hear it, but sounds. Torque is so fun, man. We buy all these super bikes and things like that don't really have a high amount of torque, and to really have fun on those bikes, you have to be going fast to get that sensation of speed. Torque is fun because you can have fun at lower speeds, which is why I love the Diavolo 1260 so much, because you can really have fun on that bike. This kind of reminds me of that. You can have a lot of fun low speeds, just normal twist the throttle speeds, and it's nice, man. Another thing I wanted to mention is there isn't much wind protection, so this bike really isn't for touring anyway. But anytime you get over like 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, highway miles would not be fun on this bike for long periods of time. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I don't think people who are buying this bike will be buying it to do highway miles. The only reason you would be on a highway is to get to a twisty road. So it would be kind of like one of those things. But yeah, you definitely get a decent amount of wind on it, which isn't really a big deal, like I said, for short periods of time. But if you're, you know, racking up hours on this thing, the wind is definitely going to beat you up. It's going to feel kind of like you got beat up with a baseball bat. Man, I can't believe how easy it is at low speeds, like low speed maneuvers. You can just move around so easily on the seat and just like really get leaned off the side of the bike. I'd imagine it'd be very easy to kind of drag knee and rip around smaller turns. You could surprise people at a track like this with one of these, especially if it was a smaller track, because you have so much, it's so light and flickable. Like, damn, it is. And forgiving too, because of that suspension. Man, I should have gone around this guy. Son of a bitch. Oh yeah, dude. The harder you push this thing, the better it feels. That's kind of crazy. Woo! Man, this thing sings, dude. Oh man. Yeah, I can see why people like this bike, for sure. It is just, it just makes you want to do hooligan things everywhere you go. I feel like I'd get into more trouble on this than I would on like a sport bike. I just want to rip everywhere, like ramp out curves and like, see, there's another guy, he knows what's up. So here's something else that's crazy about this bike. I know when you hear 115 horsepower, you're like, oh, that doesn't seem like that much, because, you know, all these bikes making 200 and stuff like that. My Gixxer 600 was 120 horsepower. So think about that. And like people tell you not to start on those bikes, right? Man, it's you can really handle low speed turns so well on this thing, dude. And then of course I get stuck behind 2 freaking cars. But yeah, this is the place where a bike like this really excels. Back roads, it can be a little bit bumpy, it doesn't matter, you know, a little bit of dirt doesn't matter, and you can just have fun, man, at speeds that aren't going to send you to jail, you know. Woo! Yeah, this is a really fun bike, man. I would say that this is kind of like a second bike in your inventory if you have something else that you ride kind of like every day, maybe like some commuting or whatever, and then you have a bike like this where it's just to have fun. That's it. You just get on it to have fun, and that's all you do. It can do a little bit of everything, you know. It can do city, you know, urban stuff, totally fine, comfortable, easy. Back roads are obviously where it's going to shine, and canyons. You could take it to a track, have some fun with it on a track, and you could, you know, do some highway miles on it and stuff like that too. And but again, it excels at stuff like this: back roads, nobody around, canyons, a little bit of off-road stuff, and you can really have a lot of fun on this thing. And it's nice too because especially in the fall and things like that, you're gonna have a lot more stuff on the road, and for some reason it just doesn't bother me as much with this one. The suspension is so soft, and the way that the geometry is set up, you know, it's a bike that can slide around. You're not worried about, oh, look at this, we got jumps. Like on any other bike, you would not want to be hitting these. Like, I don't even, that's crazy. You just stand up and go over them, it's no big deal. And that's what's funny about this bike, because it's not going to slow you down. It's like, oh, we're going to put speed bumps out here to slow people down, and then you're like, not on my Hyper. I'm just going to ramp off of them. This is freaking awesome, dude. And those brakes are so good. Wow. This is a good bike, man. Now I see why people like this bike. It's a very fun bike. I don't know if I personally would buy one, just because I don't really do this type of riding. I don't know. If I had like 2 or 3 bikes and I just wanted something just purely for fun, I could see myself getting one of these and just kind of having some fun with it on the weekend, taking it around, maybe bringing it to the track as like when I'm done riding and I just want to have some fun, rip it around the track. It's just crazy how easily it soaks up the bumps. That is nuts, dude. Any other bike going 40 over a speed bump, you're gonna probably wipe out. This thing takes it so easily. What a cool bike, man. Look at this. Hope Ranch, Santa Barbara, California. Beautiful little golf course. And people doing wheelies. Oh, what is this sound? Oh, doesn't matter. Oh, popping the wheel up. Yeah, so you can see the little light blinking. That was the Wheelie Control saying, hey, be careful, buddy. You're doing a wheelie right now. And what is it set to right now? 6. So I would have been doing wheelies everywhere had I turned that down. But that's not how I roll. So if you came here looking for wheelies and stoppies and ramps, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Yeah, I can feel it cutting the power whenever it's got a pretty short wheelbase, so it's gonna wheelie very easily, especially with all that torque in the mid-range. So I think the last thing to do here would be to, man, I can feel the front wheel just coming up. Take this puppy on the highway and see how she feels. So yeah, obviously I'm getting a ton of wind right now. I'm not sure what it sounds like to you guys, but power-wise, totally fine. Plenty of power. And then if you're going for a long time, you just kick it into 6th gear, chill at 75, and you probably get some decent gas mileage too. But yeah, above 70, it's, you know, it doesn't really like that. It's not that it doesn't like it, it's just not made for it, you know what I mean? But the seat's really big. You could always sit back and tuck in, which doesn't really help that much. But yeah, I would probably just putt on the highway to get to where I needed to go, to rip this thing on some back roads, canyons, wherever, and have a blast. That quick shifter, I can't get over how good that is. That's just crazy. Go off the throttle, kick it down. Got torque for days. Handles the highway totally fine. Plenty of power. and a lot of fun, man. Actually a lot of fun. I really like this bike. I can understand why there's such a big following for this bike, and I really appreciate Ducati sending it over, seeing my video, seeing all of you guys. That's super cool. That's what social media is all about. They saw everybody commenting that I need to ride this bike, and they sent one over for me to ride. That's really, really cool, and I really appreciate that. Ducati USA. Yeah, this thing freaking rips, dude. It's really stable too. It's a shame I don't have more riding ability on something like this, because I would take it off road for you guys, do some wheelies and shit. It would be freaking badass. I could see like a sick montage, but yeah, that's not how I roll. I'm not that good, guys. I'm just an average guy riding bikes and sharing them with you all. But yeah, I'm glad everyone suggested it. This is a super cool bike. I'm not sure, honestly, if I would do a build series on one. I'm not sure how much there is to do to it. It's such a good bike as is. I mean, throw an exhaust on it. It's already got forged wheels. You could put some carbon wheels on it. But I mean, putting carbon on a bike like this doesn't even really make sense, because you just kind of beat it around, you drop it, it's not a big deal. But maybe in the future, we'll see. I think I got something else. I got my eye on a different bike for the little mini build series here, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments about this or the 821 Monster, let me know in the comment section below, because I'll be doing a lot more videos on these two bikes while we have them for the next couple of weeks here. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you to Ducati USA. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.